Okay, so good morning, everyone, and welcome to General Finance of November 21st. Just before we go to the adoption and changes or deletions to the agenda, I'll look to identify any media on the line. Okay, I'm not seeing or hearing any media represented on the line, so I will go to any additions or deletions to the agenda. Michelle?
Can I just add a thank you?
Sure, no problem. Is there anything
Can
further?
you hear me?
Yep. Oh, sorry, Michelle, can you hear me?
Yep. I would like to just add an update from the Santa Claus parade.
Sure. Thank you for that, Michelle. Is there anything further? Okay, seeing or hearing none, I'll look to a mover and seconder to adopt our general finance agenda of November 21st, moved by Audrey. Seconder?
I'll move Sherlyn.
Second by Sherry Lynn. Are there any further questions or comments? Seeing or hearing none, all in favor? Any opposed? Seeing or hearing none, motion is carried. We don't have a very long agenda this morning, so as well as no delegations or presentations, so I'll go into the adoption of the general finance minutes of November 7th.
I'll move.
Moved by Michelle, seconder.
I'll second Sherlyn.
Second by Sherry Lynn. Thank yous. Further questions, comments?
Chief, is this on the minutes?
Yes.
It says that Michelle was presiding as chair, and she made a motion. Is that? I can't recall if did you come in late that meeting or not too sure.
Sorry, I'm just looking. No, I was the chair of the last finance.
I will correct it.
Okay.
Thanks for that, Carrie. Thanks, Becky. Further questions, corrections, comments? Okay, seeing or hearing none, all in favor? Any opposed? Seeing or hearing none, motion is carried. The second quarter financial statement. So if I can go to, I believe Jennifer, who will be speaking on that.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Okay, I'll just share my screen. So this is presentation of the Q2 financials for the period of April 1st, 2022 to September 30th, 2022. I'm going to start with a summary of the statement of operations. So as previously noted, this is for the first 6 months, so we're halfway through the year. These are the results from that. The numbers for the budget might look a little bit different than the Q1 presentation, and that's because since the Q1 presentation, the fire budget was approved. So now it's being reflected into those numbers. So that's where you'll see a little bit of a difference bringing in those fire budget numbers. Prior to that, it was left out completely because it was still under review to be approved. So the first column here is showing your budgeted results budgeted results for the fiscal year of 2023. The second column is showing you the fiscal year so far, so the up until September 30th of 2023, and the third column is your full year actuals from last fiscal. So as you can see, our revenue is trending right now at $53,832,000. I would like to remind everybody that this revenue recognition is based on expenses that were incurred, and we have earned the revenue. So if we were to extrapolate that into full year results, it would look like we would end up at about $106 million. That's not necessarily typically fair, because we do have programs that are front of the year heavy, such as Parks and Rec. So a lot of their programming happens in the summer and in the first half of the year, and then they slow down a little bit throughout the remainder of the fiscal year. And then you also have Public Works taking care of our roads. So that wouldn't have been happening in the first part of the year, but it would be happening in the second part of the year. So just as a baseline to extrapolate it, you can double it. However, there are different factors that do affect that. Also, as you can see, our expenses from regular operations are sitting at $54 million at the half year. So again, extrapolated, we'd be hitting at about 109 million. And then for our operational deficit right now, we're sitting at 1 million. Extrapolated again, that would be 2 million. So well inside our projected deficit of $3.6 million in operations. From OFNLP and Brantford Casino, our revenue right now is relatively high. That's because the OFNLP revenue came in and was earned as soon as it happened. So no anticipation for this number in the Q2 of the 10.9 million to double. It will go up by the Brantford Casino revenue that comes in on a monthly basis. Really, the majority of that revenue is already recognized. And expenses sitting at $2.4 million so far, with a surplus of 8.5. So as it sits right now at Q2, the net result is $7.4 million surplus, which exceeds the projected $4.3 million surplus that was projected with the budget. Going into greater detail of the statement of operations by department, this should have been included in the Dropbox, so I hope you've had a chance to review it. But it goes through, again, same column structure. The first column here is your budgeted results for each of the departments. Second column is your actuals year to date at Q2. And then your third column is the full year for fiscal year 22. And it breaks down all of those numbers that we saw on the previous page. Okay, and moving into the statement of financial position. So in the statement of financial position, obviously this is showing us our assets and our liabilities, as well as our net assets. You'll see that there's been some movement since the Q1 presentation, where the investments were sitting a little bit higher because of those 6-month GICs that we had discussed. So one of the GICs has come back into cash, which is bumping up this cash number. Also, our accounts receivable fell by about $10 million based on collections, and then additional monies coming in. So of course, that has had a positive effect on cash in the organization. Again, that's sitting in sort of this area of the holding of your deferred revenues, which would have been there prior, and then the unearned revenues, which have grown since the prior Q1 results. So that's sort of how it's relating into the cash. Is there any questions?
Okay, thank you, Jennifer, for walking us through our Q2. Looking to questions, comments, Audrey?
A quick question. How much do we get a month coming in from the Brantford Casino, and is it OFNLP? Are they monthly too?
OFNLP comes in annually. And then this year we had an adjustment afterwards, but typically they do come in annually. For Brantford Casino, I believe it's $400,000 a month. And that's interest.
Yeah.
You're welcome.
Thank you for that. Jennifer, further questions, comments, Greg?
Yes, hi, Jennifer. The OLP money, just further question along what Audrey was asking about, is now the expenses. now that expense is coming off that money, is that due to the gaming commission expenses or is that something else?
Those are donations that we've made, Greg. So, yes, specifically donations to the James Smith Cree Nation, the Gypsy Moth Spraying, Mohawk Village Memorial Park Language Commissions, the Six Nations Library, Six Nations Veterans Association, fastball team and the lacrosse team, and the Six Nations Public Police Drug Unit Task Force, some to Senior Relief, and also for Whitecorn.
Great, thank you.
You're welcome.
Thanks for that as well, Jennifer. Further questions, comments? Hazel.
Yes, with regard to the Veterans Association, I know that they always are striving to keep up with what they do and to honor the veterans. Is there any chance that they could have, I don't know if you call it core funding from that OFNLP dollars on an annual basis, like in order for them to maintain that building? And I'm not sure now how the Veterans Park, if that's taken over by a contracted person to maintain all of that, but still I don't know where the expense goes to. Does it go right back to the Veterans Association and or does it go straight to council for payments? I'm just not clear on that. Thank you.
Thank you. I'll ask Wayne to weigh in on that. I'm not as familiar with the history for the Veterans Association.
I could also just add in just really quickly as well. I know I've been doing some work with Dicer, John Montour Senior on this, and we've been trying to discuss just that and what it looks like. Obviously, we'll have to come back for full discussion and approval from council, but we did the last contribution was double to the Veterans Association, just obviously because of the impacts of COVID and so forth. The park itself, we've been trying to work again directly with the vets as they do have a contract service that maintains the upkeep and maintenance of the park itself. So that was also coming out of the dollars that we had contributed this past round. But to answer your question, Hazel, in terms of the core funding piece, and then really the longevity of it, we have to further have a discussion amongst council in terms of just that.
Oh, okay. I think it would be good if they could depend on a annual amount, because it's almost like, last summer I know they were kind of in dire straits. They were actually paying out of their own pocket to get someone in to mow the grass, etc., and keep the park looking good. So I think it would be better if they had core funding. Thank you.
Yeah, I agree. Thanks, Hazel. And I think even as well as we all know the well received ceremony that they put on as well for our Remembrance Day. So there's a few things that come out of that budget, but I do agree. So we can look to further address that.
Thanks.
Are there any other further questions or comments?
I'll move to accept.
Thank you, Michelle. It's moved by Michelle. Is there a seconder?
I'll second Hazel.
Seconded by Hazel, and going to call for any final questions or comments. Okay, seeing or hearing none, all in favor? Any opposed? Seeing or hearing none, motion is carried. That does complete our agenda. We'll go to our new business item. Over to you, Michelle.
I wanted to say thank you from the Community Minded Spirits in Action, the Santa Claus Parade Committee, for sponsoring this year's Santa Claus Parade. It was a lot of fun. We've had some really good feedback, and there was a number of floats this year. So it was really nice to see the council departments participate. So thanks everybody who participated. I know Councillor Helen, Sherry Lynn, Greg, the chief, Tammy, all there. So thanks again. And that reporting will come forward. We still have some expenses to be paid out.
Okay, thank you so much, Michelle. And obviously as well, want to say yawa to to everyone for participating and contributing. I know obviously still receiving some great comments as well. One piece maybe, Michelle, that the group can discuss, and I know you've brought this up, is potentially maybe having a discussion around a nighttime parade. And I've been getting that a lot. I don't know if your committee is looking at that and what it could potentially look like. Well, thank you so much.
Mark?
Oh, sorry, Hazel.
Yeah, I think a nighttime parade would be nice. You know, a lot of places do have like the evening Santa Claus parades. And I want to apologize to everyone that I didn't get to the Speedway on time to be a part of the parade. The police would not let me through, and Mark knows that because he was kind enough to give me candies, even though I was delinquent in getting there. Thank you.
All good. Thanks. Thanks for that, Hazel. Greg, and then over to Audrey.
Oh, yeah, that was, it was quite a fun event. I thought that the turnout was pretty good, and the only thing is that you got to order better weather, Chief. I think in the nighttime one might be even chillier, but
True.
but it was no. I thought my question is or comment is there like a blanket a thank you that goes out to the to all the people that participated in there? Does it go in the paper or on the radio, or because I saw a lot of people involved, a lot of volunteers, a lot of good floats. It was quite nice.
Yeah, I totally agree. Maybe Michelle, I know I have already sent out to all our departments specifically to them, but I believe on behalf of the committee, they usually recognize, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep, and that will be forthcoming.
Okay, perfect. Thank you. The only thing that we also might need is an actual maybe parade marshal, because there was a few gaps in that parade for some. now that we have enough floats going in. Audrey.
And I too want to echo the same thing of my congratulations to the organizers and to all the people who participated in, and as well as our team here at council for participating, and also to let you know and remind you that Melba and I were participating in the Six Nations Polytechnic meeting all day from 9 to 4:30. Now,
That's right. Thank you. Thank you for that, Audrey and Melba as well. So do appreciate it. Fun all around, and I'm so glad to see. In fact, I think just in terms of Greg's comment of better weather, I think we brought the snow that day. There was so much Christmas spirit around, so it was nice. The snow held off just as we were finishing the parade. So do appreciate all the work as well into the organizing committee and so forth. So Nyawa, Michelle. Okay, that does complete our agenda for this morning's general finance. At this point in time, I will look for a motion, a mover and seconder to adjourn. Moved by Michelle, seconded by Audrey. All in favor? Any opposed? Seeing or hearing none, motion is carried. Thank you so much, everyone. I hope you have a great Monday.